The underestimated species, the grand observation deck of Station Celestial Nexus bustled with activity, as representatives from across the Galactic Confederation gathered for the Centennial Fleet Review. Massive viewports revealed the vastness of space beyond, where thousands of warships hovered in perfect formation, each vessel a testament to the technological superiority of its species. High Admiral Vex Toral of the Axelarian Dominion stood with his forearms clasped behind his back, his iridescent scales catching the light as he surveyed the gathered dignitaries. The Confederation united over 300 spacefaring species across 7 galactic arms, each bringing their unique biology and technological approach to the Alliance. Power hierarchies within the Confederation were largely determined by military capability, and fleet reviews served as both diplomatic functions and thinly veiled power demonstrations. Magnificent, aren't they? Vexitoral gestured toward the Axelarian fleet, sleek crystalline vessels that manipulated gravitational fields to achieve near-instantaneous interstellar travel. Each capital ship houses a quantum consciousness, core capable of calculating battle scenarios across 11 dimensions. Supreme Counselor Zix of the Thalaxian Combine nodded, her gelatinous form pulsing with bioluminescent patterns. The Thalaxian contribution is equally impressive this cycle. Our organic warships now incorporate living metal alloys that heal battle damage within minutes and adapt their biological weaponry to counter any defense. The gathered representatives, most veterans of countless interstellar conflicts, exchanged similar boasts about their respective fleets. The Morgan Collective had developed ships that existed partially in alternate dimensions. The Kulari Empire's vessels harnessed the power of artificial stars. The Zentabian Republic controlled reality warping technology that bent the laws of physics to their advantage. Then someone noticed the newcomers. What are those rectangular objects at the edge of the formation? Asked First Minister Grelthok of the Versidian hegemony, pointed appendage directing attention to a small cluster of vessels positioned far from the others. All eyes turned to the ships in question. Compared to the elegant advanced vessels of the Confederation species, these appeared utterly primitive, boxy metal constructions with visible thrusters and what appeared to be actual windows. Exposed weapon systems jutted awkwardly from their hulls, and their formation, while precise, lacked the perfect geometric symmetry of the other fleets. Ah! Vexitoral's scales flattened in what his species considered a smile, though it appeared more predatory than friendly. Those would be the vessels from Earth. A ripple of amusement spread through the gathering. Earth had joined the Confederation merely 5 years ago, practically yesterday in diplomatic terms. The humans had somehow developed faster than light, traveled despite their comparatively young civilization, meeting the minimum requirement for Confederation membership. But in every other respect they remained woefully behind. They still use reaction drives? Minister Grelthok's voice carried tones of disbelief. And are those chemical propellants for their weapons systems? I believe they call them missiles, offered Zix, her gelatinous form rippling with what passed for laughter among her kind. Explosive devices propelled by controlled combustion. How charmingly primitive, commented Ambassador Zor of the Phalanx Initiative, his crystalline exoskeleton tinkling musically with amusement. I'm surprised they managed interstellar travel at all. Their vessels appear to be constructed from... Is that actually metal alloy? Not even metamaterials? The diplomatic gathering erupted in various forms of alien mirth. Clicking mandibles, vibrating appendages, and pulsing bioluminescence, all expressing the same sentiment. Derision. High Admiral, you must introduce us to the human representative, urged First Minister Grelthok. Such an interesting species deserves our attention. As if summoned by the request, the doors to the observation deck slid open, and a single human figure entered. The aliens fell momentarily silent, many seeing a human in person for the first time. Admiral Helena Chen walked confidently toward the gathering, her uniform crisp and utilitarian, lacking the ceremonial embellishments favored by other species. She stood a full head shorter than most representatives, but moved with the purposeful stride of someone accustomed to command. Admiral Chen, Vextoral's voice carried the forced politeness of a superior addressing someone far beneath their station. "How kind of you to join us. We were just admiring your fleet's unique approach to spacecraft design." Chen's expression remained neutral as she offered the formal Confederation greeting, a slight incline of her head. "Hi, Admiral. Esteemed representatives. Earth is honored to participate in the fleet review. We were curious," continued Zix, her translucent form pulsing with barely contained amusement, "about your propulsion systems. Do your vessels truly rely on combustion reactions for movement? And those external weapon mounts," added Ambassador Zor, "surely they create significant drag during atmospheric operations?" Admiral Chen smiled slightly. "Earth designs prioritize functionality over aesthetics and redundancy over elegance. Our approach differs from Confederation standards, but it serves our needs." "Quite understandable for a young species," Vexus Taral said with diplomatic insincerity. "The Confederation appreciates diverse approaches even when they are less advanced. Perhaps in a few centuries your technology will begin to approach current standards." Before Chen could respond, emergency lighting bathed the observation deck in pulsing red. A communications officer, a multi-limbed Zentabian, rushed to Vexus Taral's side, chittering urgently in their native language. The High Admiral's scales flattened against his body, a sign of alarm. "Impossible," he hissed. "What is it?" demanded Counselor Zix. "The Voidborn have breached the Perseus Arm defensive perimeter," Vextoral announced. 3 hive clusters approaching the Confederation core worlds. Stunned silence fell across the observation deck. The Voidborn, sentient clouds of dark energy that consumed organic matter and technology alike, represented the gravest threat the Confederation had faced in millennia. Previous encounters had required the combined might of multiple species, fleets to repel even a single hive cluster. "How did they penetrate our sensor nets?" asked Grelthok, appendages twitching nervously. "Unknown," replied Vextoral. "But the situation is dire. They've already consumed 3 outpost stations and are accelerating toward populated systems." Ambassador Exor's crystalline form dulled with fear. "The nearest response fleet is 3 days away at maximum speed. We have over 30 fleets gathered." "Here," Chen pointed out. "Surely we can mount an immediate defense." The alien representatives exchanged uneasy glances. "The fleet review vessels are not fully crewed for combat," explained Vex Taral. "Most carry diplomatic contingents and minimal military personnel. Additionally, many vessels have powered down their primary weapon systems for the ceremonial review." "How long to bring them to combat readiness?" Chen asked. 26 hours at minimum," said Zix. "Our organic ships require time to generate sufficient bioenergy for weapons. The axillary and quantum cores need recalibration after the dormancy period," added Vexus Toral. "And the Versidian reality warpers must synchronize their dimensional harmonics." "Admiral," Chen's expression hardened, "Earth's vessels maintain combat readiness at all times, even during diplomatic functions. We can deploy immediately." The alien representative stared at her. "Surely you're not suggesting—" Ambassador Zor began. "Earth's fleet will intercept and engage the Voidborn," Chen stated firmly. "We request only that the Confederation begins immediate preparations to follow with reinforcements." "Admiral Chen," Vex Toral's tone held genuine concern beneath the condescension. "While your offer is courageous, your technology is simply inadequate. The Voidborn will consume your ships like asteroids." Chen's eyes flashed with determination. "With respect, High Admiral, Earth's vessels are more capable than they appear. We'll hold the line until the Confederation can mount a proper response." After a brief, urgent consultation among the senior representatives, Vexa Toral reluctantly agreed. The human fleet was, after all, expendable, and might at least delay the Voidborn advance until the proper forces could be deployed. The gathering watched with a mixture of pity and grudging respect as Earth's boxy, primitive-looking vessels broke formation and accelerated toward the incoming threat, their outdated fusion drives flaring brightly against the darkness of space. "A brave but futile gesture," murmured First Minister Grelthok. Counselor Zix's gelatinous form dimmed in what her species considered a solemn expression. They face certain destruction. Let us honor their sacrifice by preparing our own response with all possible haste. As Earth's fleet disappeared into the darkness of space, the gathered representatives returned to their respective vessels, each silently calculating the odds of survival for the primitive human ships. None believed they would see Admiral Chen or her fleet again. 6 hours later, as the Confederation forces were still preparing for departure, an urgent communication arrived from the front. The observation deck once again filled with representatives, their expressions tense as they awaited news of the human fleet's destruction. Instead, they received a transmission from Admiral Chen herself, her image occasionally distorted by interference, but unmistakably alive. Confederation Command, this is Earth Fleet Actual. Her voice came through clearly despite the distance. We've engaged the Voidborn Vanguard and are holding position. Request reinforcements at your earliest capability. Stunned silence fell across the gathering as tactical displays showed the impossible. Earth's small fleet had not only survived contact with the Voidborn, but appeared to be successfully containing their advance. The boxy, primitive vessels moved, with startling coordination, executing maneuvers that should have been impossible for their outdated propulsion systems. "How are they doing this?" whispered Ambassador Zor, his crystalline form vibrating with confusion. On the tactical display, they watched as one of Earth's vessels took a direct hit from a void-borne energy tendril, a strike that should have disintegrated it instantly. Instead, the ship's outer hull simply changed. Metal plates shifted and reconfigured, seeming to absorb and redirect the energy. "What technology is this?" demanded Vexitoral, scales bristling with shock. The alien representatives watched in growing amazement as Earth's primitive fleet revealed capabilities none had anticipated. The human vessels moved with perfect coordination, adapting their formation continuously to counter the Voidborn's attacks. When energy tendrils lashed out, the ship's hulls morphed to absorb or deflect them. When the Voidborn attempted to consume one vessel, its structure physically separated into smaller components that continued fighting independently. And the weapons, those crude, external weapon mounts, fired projectiles that somehow phased through the Voidborn's energy barriers, delivering payloads that disrupted the dark energy entities from within. "High Admiral." First Minister Grelthok's voice trembled slightly. "I believe we may have misjudged our new allies." Vextoral could only nod in stunned agreement, as Earth's supposedly primitive fleet continued to hold back one of the greatest threats the Confederation had ever known. The human advantage. 3 days later, the combined might of the Confederation fleet arrived at the battlefront, ready to relieve Earth's forces. What they found defied all expectations. The Voidborn clusters were in retreat, their cohesion broken, their dark energy signatures fluctuating weakly. Earth's vessels, those boxy, primitive-looking ships that had been the subject of mockery, days earlier, maintained a tight pursuit formation, methodically eliminating stragglers with weapons that somehow bypassed the Voidborn's natural defenses. Most shocking of all, not a single human vessel had been lost. Some showed damage, scorched hull plates, missing sections, exposed internal components. But all remained operational, their formations precise and their attacks coordinated with uncanny effectiveness. As the Confederation fleet established position, Admiral Chen's image appeared on the command communications channel. She looked tired but composed, with a small cut above her right eye the only visible sign of the battle's intensity. "Confederation fleet, this is Earth Actual. Welcome to the party. We've contained the Voidborn advance and forced their retreat. Transmitting tactical data and engagement protocols now." The data packets that followed contained detailed analysis of Voidborn behavior patterns, vulnerability points, and effective countermeasures. Information that the Confederation, despite centuries of engagement with the entities, had never managed to compile. High Admiral Vextoral personally invited Admiral Chen to transfer to the Axelarian flagship for debriefing. When she arrived 6 hours later, she found not just the military command but nearly every senior diplomatic representative waiting with barely concealed curiosity. Admiral Chen, Vex Toral began, his scales shifting in patterns that indicated deep respect, a dramatic change from his earlier condescension. On behalf of the Confederation, I extend our profound gratitude for your fleet's extraordinary action. You've accomplished what many considered impossible. Chen nodded acknowledgement. Earth was happy to contribute. However, continued Counselor Zix, her gelatinous form pulsing with barely contained curiosity, we must address the obvious discrepancy between the apparent technological level of your vessels and their demonstrated capabilities. In simple terms, Admiral Chen said with the hint of a smile, you want to know how our primitive ships defeated an enemy your advanced fleets have struggled against for centuries. Precisely, confirmed First Minister Grelthok. Chen looked around the room, meeting the gaze of each representative. Tell me, how do your species approach spacecraft design? Ambassador Zor responded first. The Phalanx Initiative develops unified theorems to optimize each system for maximum efficiency and perfect integration. The Thalaxian approach evolves our organic vessels toward ideal forms through guided genetic engineering, added Zix. Axelarian designs follow the principles of quantum perfection, said Vexitoral. Each vessel represents the mathematically optimal solution for its intended function. Chen nodded thoughtfully. And therein lies the fundamental difference in human engineering philosophy. We don't build for theoretical perfection. We build for practical survivability under unpredictable conditions. She activated a holographic display, showing the internal schematics of an Earth vessel. The alien representatives leaned forward, their expressions shifting from curiosity to amazement as the true nature of human technology was revealed. Those primitive metal hulls, Chen continued. Adaptive nanomaterial composites that can reconfigure on demand. Our ships might look like they're made of sheet metal, but each hull plate contains billions of nanomachines that can instantly alter the material's properties, hardening against impacts, absorbing energy, or even changing shape entirely. The hologram showed a demonstration, with the vessel's structure morphing and adapting to different threat scenarios. The exposed weapon mounts that you found so amusing? Modular systems that can be reconfigured, replaced, or repurposed within minutes. During the Voidborn engagement, our weapons specialist analyzed the enemy's defenses and recalibrated our missiles mid-battle to phase shift through their energy barriers. But your propulsion systems, began First Minister Grelthok, are exactly what they appear to be, Chen confirmed. Fusion drives and chemical thrusters. Relatively inefficient by your standards, but virtually indestructible, easily repairable with minimal resources, and almost impossible to disable completely. When your quantum drives encounter an unexpected interference pattern, they shut down. When our engines take damage, we can patch them with available materials and keep moving. But why maintain this facade? Asked Vexitoral. Why design your vessels to appear primitive when they contain such advanced technology? Admiral Chen's expression became serious. Human history is filled with conflicts. We learned long ago that appearing less capable than you truly are provides a significant tactical advantage. Your perception of our technological inferiority was not accidental. It was by design. A murmur ran through the gathered representatives as the implications sank in. Beyond the strategic advantages of being underestimated, Chen continued, human engineering follows fundamentally different principles than Confederation standard practices. You design for theoretical perfection. We design for worst-case scenarios. She gestured toward the schematic displays. Your ships are marvels of technology when operating within their design parameters. Our vessels are deliberately designed to function even when half their systems are destroyed. You optimize for peak performance, we optimize for survival. The coordination we observed, said Zix. Your vessels moved with perfect synchronization despite lacking the quantum communication networks our fleets rely upon. Human pilots, Chen explained simply. While most Confederation species have moved toward automated systems and AI-controlled vessels, Earth maintains a tradition of human operators. Our pilots train together, develop intuitive understanding of each other's tactics, and can adapt to changing conditions in ways that programming cannot predict. But the efficiency calculations clearly favor automation, protested Ambassador Zor. Efficiency isn't everything, replied Chen. The Voidborn adapted to your predictable automated responses. They couldn't anticipate the sometimes illogical, but effective decisions made by human operators. The debriefing continued for hours as the Confederation representatives struggled to reconcile their preconceptions with the reality of human technology. What had appeared primitive was revealed as deliberately unassuming. What had seemed inefficient proved remarkably resilient. What had looked haphazard was actually adaptable by design. As the session concluded, High Admiral Vexus Toral addressed Admiral Chen with new respect in his voice. "The Confederation owes Earth a debt of gratitude, Admiral. Your intervention likely saved millions of lives. Beyond that, you've given us cause to reconsider our own approaches to technology and warfare." Chen nodded. Different perspectives strengthen the Confederation. Earth looks forward to contributing ours. There will be no more mockery of Earth vessels at Confederation gatherings, declared First Minister Grelthok, to murmurs of agreement from the other representatives. "Actually," Chen replied with a slight smile, "we'd prefer if you continued to underestimate us publicly. As I mentioned, there are tactical advantages to being perceived as less capable than you truly are." The alien representatives exchanged glances, suddenly re-evaluating not just Earth's technology, but the strategic thinking behind humanity's approach to the Confederation. In the months that followed, significant changes swept through the Galactic Confederation. Many species began incorporating elements of human design philosophy into their vessel construction, emphasizing adaptability and redundancy alongside efficiency. Training programs for organic operators saw renewed interest, and several fleet commanders quietly reduced their reliance on fully automated systems. Earth's status within the Confederation hierarchy rose dramatically, though official records and public statements continued to refer to human technology as developing and promising. Behind closed doors, however, the most powerful species in known space now treated the newcomers with newfound respect, bordering on wariness. During the next Confederation Council session, a proposal was introduced to create an interspecies technology exchange program. When Earth's representative was asked what humans hoped to gain from studying comparatively advanced alien technology, she smiled and replied simply, "New perspectives. After all, different approaches to the same problems have proven quite valuable. Haven't they?" The council chamber filled with various forms of alien laughter, but this time humans were no longer the subject of the joke. They were recognized as equals who had taught the galaxy an important lesson. True advancement comes not from theoretical perfection, but from practical innovation, adaptability, and the willingness to appear less than you truly are. As Admiral Chen liked to say, "It's not about having the most impressive technology, it's about having the most appropriate technology and knowing exactly when to reveal what you're truly capable of."